right before we watched this, when we first started it, you said instantly you were back right there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the look on your face, even it's been 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it still is impactful for you to watch that.
Very much so.
The average person, I don't think, has a clue of the emotional response that video creates. I don't think the average. Do you think the average person walking around that you're bumping into in the store or driving by in traffic could even understand it if you tried to explain it?
No, and how could they? Any more than whatever every other individual's lives have been. How could I really understand? Because I have not there but for the grace of God, as the saying goes, but have not lived in their skin. But no.
So what
not
did go
even remotely?
What was going through your mind when you started viewing that? If you can articulate it.
Honestly, it was feeling. It was reliving, kind of like a fly on the wall, Griff. My loved ones' emotions, what they were feeling, even more than myself. Does that make any sense?
Right, like
at
you're
all?
watching it, like you're almost
Yes.
out of your body
There you
watching
go.
it happen.
There you go. Out of body experience.
Okay.
My family, my loved ones, it's me being an empath and feeling everybody, whatever's energy that I'm around, I pick it up.
Right.
Some of that's been survival induced instinct and otherwise, maybe innate, I don't know. But my one sister that, not to take away, it's everybody's emotions, but her and I, from a young age, extremely close, and so many fought so hard for me, and she was just, I mean, she was on the verge of having a freaking heart attack, you know. I was getting off that band.
Right. The culmination of years, decades of people's efforts, people's
Yes.
suffering, people's pain
Yes.
and violence
All of it. Anticipation.
comes out.
Will he ever get out?
It just comes together right there.
Yeah, in that moment. Well put.
How has it changed for you over the 4 years since you've been out when you watch it? Or has it? Or do you still get the same?
Same exact emotional response, psychological impact.
The rawness,
The absolute, that's the, in one word, rawness.
okay.
The rawness of, from my side of it, Griff, that day, that moment, I was terrified. We've discussed this before. Not an emotion that I've been accustomed to. And to feel that type of, help me with the synonym, if you will, Griff, for that.
A type of intensity, that
Yeah.
apprehension,
The apprehension
the
was
unknown.
It was off the charts. It was off the charts. Just this past week when I was working at the National Bodybuilding convention here at the Flamingo Hotel, a couple of my guys from California, I'm calling them my guys that also work for the Nationals when it comes here to Vegas. A couple of them had been away, and one of them did a significant amount of time, and we were speaking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me without any prompting at all how scared he was getting out, and he just wanted to go back. He took the words right out of my mouth. He took the feelings right out of my soul and my psyche that I wanted to run back in.
And to know you a little bit like I do, and how you are about freedom and being out and everything. For you to have that thought, that's some intense emotion.
Yeah. Yes.
That has to be some real uncomfortable feelings of fear for you to acknowledge that and to verbalize that.
Sure.
Because you fought for years,
Decades.
to get out.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, now you're getting out.
Got what you wanted.
Careful what you ask for.
Right.
What do you...
But we can laugh at it today, Griff, because
Right.
that was me in that moment
Mm-hmm.
of getting out, being terrified,
Mm-hmm.
the apprehension. What kind of world am I stepping back into?
Mm-hmm.
Liked it or not, I made that home in there because that's where I was destined to die. I was sentenced to die in there. Then, slow forward, however many years later, that I'm now on a prison van. I think, was I shackled up? I know mentally I truly was definitely shackled. I don't even remember if I was actually literally shackled or not. But then I step off that prison bus, and yes, I spoke my truth. I wanted to run right back inside.
Mm-hmm.
And here, just days ago, unsolicited, I'm speaking with Ray. Ethnicity unimportant, but he happens to be half Sicilian and half Islander. And his family was involved, we'll just call it, in the different gang cultures. We're going to keep it loosely there. And while we were speaking, me, him, and another Islander that works at the Nationals, he was saying how scared he was when he got out after like a dime. And that so resonated with me. It hit me, and I'm looking and I'm like, damn. And this is a guy that probably never vocalized any kind of fear, much less felt it.
Right.
And yet, yeah, it's a real thing. Institutionalization is very real.
You have individuals who aren't afraid of much,
Mm-hmm.
but they can spend time incarcerated and be scared of freedom. What kind of upside down system is that? That's exactly the opposite of you're supposed to be scared of going back.
Yes.
Not scared of getting out.
Great point. Great point.
And yet the trauma of long-term incarceration does exactly that.
Yes.
It flips everything upside down.
It does. And you have such a way of putting your finger right on a button, on a pulse. And it's true, the trauma of you said it, long-term incarceration. It should be preparing individuals for getting out and being successful.
Get it right this time.
Get it right. Get your head out of the sand, right?
Right.
And we're going to help prepare you for that. Versus myself, Ray, and God knows, unfortunately, how many untold others by the thousands, maybe millions. Because at any given time, there's over, 2.5 million incarcerated in this country. At any given time, I believe that percentage is pretty accurate. And instead of being prepared, what you alluded to, for success when you get out, is you wanting to run right back into that cesspool. And you're right, how backwards is that? Is that by design, Greg?
I was just gonna say, some might think
Is that by
that
design?
that's part of the plan. That's why they don't police violence in prison. That's why they don't police assault in prison, because it's by design. But that's another show. That's another story.
Okay.
But it's amazing that thank God somebody did that video, because you can go right back there, and like if you're ever feeling
Backs against the
I don't
wall.
know, oh, you know what, I don't even need to try, what's the point, you're having a bad day.
Sure.
That can kind of take you back to that moment where although you were anxious and scared and a whole bunch of stuff, all these foreign things are going on in your head.
Yes.
It was a good day.
Huh.
That's an understatement, I know, but it was a good day.
Good day.
It was a good day, a great day, however you want to say it. And sometimes we don't have great days in reality. But that's never going to change that.
Right. No, and